and welcome to Cheyanne Checks Out. My name is Cheyanne and today I am checking out something a little bit different to what I usually watch on this channel, but I am going to check out the Jeffree Star Revealing My Last Dark Secrets video. I have been watching the Shane Dawson series and loving it. I think the rest of the world has too, and so I have been really excited to see this video from Jeffree since he said on Twitter that he was going to do it. So I've been pretty bloody keen. So as soon as I put my infant to sleep, I jumped right onto the computer, and all of the batteries on all of my cameras are dead, so I'm filming on my phone, so I apologize if it's crappy quality, but you know, you're gonna get my real reaction. So because this video goes for 25 minutes, I'm just gonna hurry up, get started. Let's go. Pressing play now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Hi, how are ya? Girl, it's been a minute. Now, I haven't uploaded in a few weeks and it feels weird. Just sitting in the studio just feels so good, and I finally got to plan makeup today, and I wanted to really sit down and talk to you guys about what has happened in my life since my series with Shane has aired. It's been a crazy 2 weeks. You got like it's been a whirlwind of emotions, of so many feelings, some so amazing, some very low, and I want to touch on some stuff today. And I have a few secrets that I didn't reveal to Shane, something that has made me lose some sleep the last few weeks, and I really need to get it off my chest. And I meant to do it just a few days after the series ended, and I just couldn't, and now it's on week 2 and I need to say it. So I'm gonna get some things off my chest today that I really want to share. We're gonna touch on some stuff that people had questions on, and I just kind of want to dive into all of that. So grab a Red Bull, grab a water, grab a bong, and join me for some conversations and a little sit down. Now, of course, my channel will always be makeup related, so I will be diving into more reviews, and there's so many products out. So the Jeffree Star approved series will be, of course, back very soon. My channel has a lot of new stuff coming, you guys. A lot of lifestyle stuff, a lot of more business, like you guys have been asking, which I can't wait to dive into. But today will be a story time, so please join me, and let's get started. Just before we get started into this video, I just want to say that there are some very graphic subject matters involving suicide and self-harm, so if you are triggered by that, or if those subjects bother you, please do not watch today's video. So I just want to give a warning to anyone out there. Please be aware that that is going to be a lot of the subject matter in today's video, so thank you.
Yum.
Okay, so wow, I almost feel like a new person, or an upgraded person, or a different version of Jeffree is sitting in this chair right now, because so much has happened since all of you guys have watched the series. Now, looking back, I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew that I was getting closer to Shane, and he wanted to do this idea with me, and I was very apprehensive, very. You guys have seen the version of my life I have shown on Snapchat thus far up until the series, and now you guys see what really, you know, goes on behind the scenes, and it was very scary for me. To let down so many walls with someone I hadn't known for a long time was scary, but my gut said, trust Shane. He can be trusted, which is very scary.
And I
don't trust a lot of people. I've had a lot of issues with previous friends, and just so many people in and out of my life that were very negative and poisonous for 10 years now. It's just been, I've gone through a lot of friends, and I see people who, you know, for who they are very quickly, and girl. So I was very apprehensive, and I didn't know what I was going to show Shane. I really didn't know. He was going to come over, we were going to talk, we were going to see what was going to happen, and then no holds barred. I ended up showing everything. I did a closet tour on someone else's channel. I showed off really everything in my life, full disclosure, and I was scared. 100%. I was scared. I didn't know how you guys were going to react. I didn't want people to judge me on things that maybe they didn't understand, but then people have been judging me for things they didn't understand for years now. So I thought, you know what? Let's do it. Showing off money and all that stuff, that's fun. That really wasn't the point of it for me. I'm glad that you guys really get to see what I do behind the scenes and all my businesses and everything. It feels like, it's like, I hate the word dark secrets. Like, it wasn't a crazy secret. I never
revealing
wanted anyone to know. I really just thought you guys didn't, maybe wouldn't care, or maybe it was too much to show, or maybe it just wasn't interesting. It wasn't makeup related. So to get the feedback and the response from all of you it's been overwhelming. Like, it's crazy. So to anyone out there that has watched The Secret Life of Jeffree Star, thank you for just even taking a second of your day to watch mine and really see everything for what it really is.
No worries.
It's been a crazy last few weeks. So
awesome.
As I let Cheyanne in more and more into my life, he had the idea of going to my old apartment. And when he sprung it on me, I was very like...
It's not even that bad of an
whoa.
apartment.
Because
it's
at the end of the day,
it's better than
I'm
the house
obviously
I live
the
in.
only one that knows what went down in that apartment, what has gone on throughout the years of my life, and so many painful memories came up that when he asked me on camera, it like hit me like a ton of bricks. But my gut said, do it, go there and just see what would happen. And that's very me. I'm like, okay, let's do it, we'll see what happens. If we don't like it, you know, I'm trying to be very blasé, but there was this part of me that was
Jeffrey,
like
are you me?
trembling.
Is this...
And it was very like, it was scary. I've been having so many mixed feelings lately. Like, it's been hard to just sit down and articulate my thoughts. I felt so overwhelmed as each part was uploaded and and you guys joined the journey with me. And as I was watching the footage back, you know, it had been almost 2 months since we had filmed it, so I had no idea how it was going to be put together. I don't know what anyone thought out there, but Cheyanne and Andrew did all the editing. I did absolutely nothing but, of course, share my story.
Yeah, it was
but
very
I didn't know
Cheyanne.
what they were going to do or how they were going to articulate it.
I did
so
think he was
when I watched
there while they were editing, though.
It was intense, beautiful, crazy. Like, I remember watching the last episode in my office, just crying. I turned off all the lights, I shut the door, and I played it, and it was hard to watch. It was hard, but it was good. It was healthy. And since opening up to Cheyanne, I almost feel healed in a weird way. I know that sounds crazy, but I really feel like a part of me that I thought was better, I thought was great, and I thought was, you know, I was already over those feelings. I wasn't. And I actually feel like now I am. But every day is a struggle. And if you out there are dealing with any issues like self-harm or anything like that I have dealt with, just know that that's okay. It's okay to struggle every day. I think people think you're cured or you're fixed and you wake up and you don't have feelings anymore, but you do. The next thing I'm about to say is I'm scared. I don't want you guys to think... I'm just going to say it because I was scared to say it in the moment with Cheyanne, and when I felt like I had revealed so much to him, I couldn't reveal this last part. And in the series, I say, Cheyanne, I haven't cut myself or harmed myself in 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's a lie.
Called it.
And in the moment, I didn't know how to say it. I felt sick, and since I filmed that, I've been feeling sick about it the entire time, because 4 years ago is actually the last time I did anything like that, and it wasn't because of the same reason. Back then, it was because I felt so empty, so hollow, so alone. I needed to hurt myself to even feel like I was real. And now that I feel real and I've experienced real love and I've really discovered who I am, I don't feel like that anymore. But about 4 years ago, I kept thinking about it, and I kept thinking about it, and I wanted to know if I was going to feel the same. That time frame, I had just quit music. I was trying to start my brand. I was very lonely. I was very lost, and I went back to the old ways that I had, but it didn't feel the same. Yeah. And I think that's what's important to me, and that's why I want to share this, is because it didn't feel like it used to. It didn't make me feel better. It actually felt very hollow, very empty, like this isn't it anymore. Like, this is not how I felt, and I didn't want to do it anymore.
Sometimes
and
that's
I had
what you need to
been
do.
obsessively
Yeah,
doing it for
that's right.
years.
And then you need
like
that
it
one
was a
little
sick game in my head, and I never thought it would stop.
thing.
So when it finally did, just having those feelings resurface was scary. So if anyone out there does have those feelings,
No,
that's
I've done
okay.
exactly the same
We're
thing.
allowed to, you know, I hate the word
Bit of a
relapse, but
confession
we're
video of
allowed
my
to have
own.
those feelings again. We're allowed to feel how we want to feel because we're humans, but you need to work through it, and I really needed to work through it. So a few times I went back to hurting myself, and I knew that I didn't need to do that anymore. So since then, I have not done anything
done.
ever like that again.
Good
and
job.
I don't plan to. Do I have feelings? Yeah. Do I get depressed and
course you
sad?
do.
And
Yeah.
of course, I'm a human being. And even this week has been so amazing, but there's been so many emotions in my head. It's like a roller coaster. And when people see you doing great, for some reason, people tend to attack. And it's been just a long week of just people really trying it, with also so much greatness involved. So even though I'm very happy, there is that kind of like sadness that I feel will always be in my body, in my soul, like always just kind of like a heavy weight.
Been through a lot,
And I
man.
don't mean to sound depressing or sad. That's just
Yeah.
how I truly feel. I feel like
Yeah.
that's just in my bones. I didn't want to share this last part and think like, ooh, you were lying. Because I just felt like, fuck, man. I had told Shane so much, I like couldn't tell him anymore. I felt so naked and so stripped and so like, but I also felt like he could relate to me in ways that maybe other people couldn't. And when I saw so many of you sharing your stories with me, I didn't feel alone. And I feel alone a lot. So I don't know. I didn't lie to Shane. I just couldn't share that part, but I feel like I'm ready, and I didn't even know if I was going to talk about this, like, but I can't go back to just playing with makeup and
Well
not
done.
get some things off my chest. So besides that, I feel really good. There's a lot of questions of like, have you ever self-harmed recently? 100% no. It's definitely been 4 years now in September. So I guess I want to end this story by just saying, if you have scars,
End.
if
It's
you
been 12 minutes.
have dealt with what I've dealt with, don't be ashamed. I chose to cover mine with tattoos because I felt like I needed to do that for me. But if you ever feel embarrassed, don't. And I know that's so hard to say because I was so embarrassed for years. I mean, I wore long sleeves, you guys, for 10 years. And literally no one ever asked me why. They just thought I was gothic and that was my thing. And I just always wore, you know, black leather. And I'm just like, you know, the whole time I was just, I don't know. Just going back to that headspace sometimes is a little scary. I think what I want to take away from sharing my story is that I'm just so happy that it opened up a huge dialogue for so many people that maybe were uncomfortable about talking about that subject or didn't know how. Now you can, and I think it's so important to talk about mental health, and so many people just shove it away or they feel weird or embarrassed about talking about it, and it's just so important. So if you need help, ask someone, please. Or if you know that someone maybe does, just check on someone and see how they're doing, because most people never checked up on me. And I don't mean that in a negative way towards anyone, but when I was really young,
no one did that even back then
just
either.
thought I was fine because I put up the front that I was fine. So sometimes the people that are hurting the worst inside are smiling on the outside. I'm just so thankful for the open dialogue on that subject. So thank you to everyone out there that shared their stories with me. The other day I wrote on Instagram that I finally feel free, and I genuinely meant that in that moment. And right now I really feel like I can finally fully be myself.
Sometimes it takes a while.
That was the greatest thing that could happen to me from this series. Now, the next thing I'm about to tell you guys is a very weird and bizarre secret, and I'm gonna have to dive into this subject way more at length later. I don't feel very comfortable talking about it in a very big manner, and I'll explain to you guys why. What I'm about to tell you may be weird, it may shock you, you may be like, who cares, this is dumb, or you may be like, what the f***, what is, like,
Bleeps
why? And I'm about to tell you, but I am a little embarrassed because in my series with Shane, he asked a lot about my mom, and I told him all real, actual facts about her, But the imagery that pops up when you Google my mother is a lie. The name that pops up when you Google my mom and pictures of us, all of it
What?
is a lie. Up until Christmas time of last year, I had not spoken to my mother, my birth mom, in 10 years.
Whoa, goosebumps.
Okay. The main reason is because we always argued, our personalities always clashed, so every time we saw each other, we would fight. And I got to a point where it was just miserable, and looking back, it was hard to get along with me as my mom, I'm sure, because I never opened up. Everything was always closed in, and I was always very closed off.
As you would
like,
be.
she would ask me, like, how are we doing? And I'd be like, fine. Like, that was me in high school. Very closed off, very short. Like, how was your day at school? Great. What I've learned is that time goes quick. Time goes by so fast. I'll never forget the first year that me and my mom didn't see each other. We texted each other like, hi, how are you? You still alive? How you doing? Once or twice that year, and then 2 years turned into 5. I tried seeing her once on a holiday. We were still broken. It was awful. It was awkward. It was weird. I hated every moment of it. That was the one and only time I had seen her in 10
That's horrible.
years. And you may be asking yourself, like, why didn't you reach out sooner? Why? There was so much pain and anger and frustration there. I couldn't believe how quickly time... I still can't believe it had been 10 years up until
Yeah.
9 months ago. Honestly, like, astonished how quickly 10 years went by. It's scary. Up until 9 months ago, I had no idea how she looked, what she was doing, where she worked, where she lived, if she had remarried, do I have a stepfather? I knew absolutely nothing about the woman that gave birth to me. 1/3 of my life I
Wow.
spent not talking to her. And everything happens for a reason. She's back in my life now. I do want to say that. We're going to get there in a minute, but the middle is very dark. So I have a confession. I've been lying to all of you. And the woman that I have been posting for the last 5 years is not my mother. It's crazy because you put us together. I'm about to show some pictures. But when you put us next to each other, so many people were like, you guys look identical. You guys are twins. You guys look exactly alike. Oh my God. That's where you get your good looks from. And it's been a lie this whole time. And it started out as like a cute white lie. And I'm sure all of you are wondering, who is this woman? Her name is Lori, and she is my actual aunt. So my father, Jeff, I was actually a junior before he passed away. So my father, Jeff, had 2 brothers, Philip and Roger.
Jeffrey,
now,
Philip,
this
and
is
Roger.
really
I
sad,
have
but my
uncles
grandmother
all
just
named
turned
that.
100 years old, and all 3 of her sons have passed away. She's outlived all of her children, her husband, and most of her family.
That's horrible.
It's sad. And my Uncle Phil is blood related, but my aunt, who you guys have seen throughout the years in my pictures as my mom, isn't even blood related to me. So it did start out as a white lie, and I needed something to tell the internet. I was growing, my numbers were growing, and I needed to say something. I felt almost embarrassed. My father was dead. A lot of my family had passed away. I wasn't close to a lot of my family.
horrible.
So my Uncle Phil and Aunt Lori, before his passing, were married for 36 years. High school sweethearts. Only person she had ever slept with. Such a magical fairy tale. So when he passed, we really started to bond and get close, and I kind of considered her a second mom. So I started calling her mom on the internet. I think me and her were both very lonely. We clung on to each other, definitely used each other for emotional support, and had
This is
some amazing
insane.
moments together. In my
Not that I
heart,
followed him
pictured
then,
my
but
Uncle Phil like a second
fact that
father.
he did that, that's
and
crazy.
when we reconnected, because I didn't talk to their family for a long time because my mom had previous beef with them, girl. Who else's family history is exhausting?
Hi.
Hi, right here. We had reconnected in such a strong way, and my Uncle Phil was like a second father to me. So when he passed and me and Lori got close, I kind of pictured her as like a second mom. And the fact that I hadn't seen my own mother in so long, part of me felt like I would never see my mom again, which is so awful to say, but I really genuinely didn't think I'd ever see her again. Like, we were never going to reconnect. That's just how it was to me. It was very like empty. I didn't really think of her
Imagine
often.
that.
And
That's hectic.
Lori became my mom on the internet. So I felt guilty at times. After having such a crazy year last year, I was in such a good mental place. And I felt in my heart, you know what? I think it's time to reach out. I found her number, got it from a family member. I'll never forget just sitting there staring out at the ocean, and I looked over to Nate and I go, I'm gonna find my mom and say hi. And he was like, whoa. Because he knew that was like, you know, I've talked about her, I've told him stories, but he's never even met her. Like, the love of my life, my man of over 3 years now, has never met my birth mom, right? He has now. But he hadn't up until that point in our relationship. It had just
3
been
years.
a weird,
I thought they'd been together for way longer.
subject, a weird topic. And I wrote her and I go, Merry Christmas, how are you? Like, fuck it, like, hey girl, how are you? And I said, it's your son. And later that day, she wrote back like, hi, whoa, you know, like, what the f-? Probably like, oh, is this a joke? Is this April Fool's? And I called her that night, and we talked for hours. This next part is so hard to say out loud. Like, I actually feel sick to my stomach. I called her and I go, hi, how are you? You know, like, what's up, girl? And she goes, I'm homeless. How are you? And then she started crying immediately. And I was like, I haven't seen this person in 10 years, right? They don't know anything that I've been through, and I don't know anything that she's been through. Every single struggle, every single moment, all the great times, all the horrible times, she knows nothing of what I've been through. And I literally know nothing of what she's been doing, of what's happened to her. So she tells me that for the last 4 years, she has been homeless and living in the trunk of her car, in the hatchback, sleeping in a trunk for 4 years. And I just cried with her. We cried.
And she knows
for
where
an
her
hour
son is
together.
and didn't even
And I
ask him
couldn't
for a
believe,
cent. That's insane.
out of everything.
That is a
out of
mom, man.
anything that could happen. Like, why isn't she just living in a house, married, normal? Life dealt her the cards to end up living in her trunk. And the how, the why, all of that,
horrible.
I don't feel comfortable sharing. It's such a scary topic. And one day, maybe she could tell you, maybe she could help me tell her story, but that is so crazy. I don't even know if that should be on my channel. Like, that is just such a scary topic because it's my own mother, and just talking about her though feels great. Like, the fact that I can actually talk to my real mom and not pretend feels really great. Feels amazing.
My God, I want to hug you right now.
I apologized to her for calling someone else my mother. I was embarrassed. Obviously, it devastated her, you know. She said, Jeffrey, I would check on you once in a while online to see if you were alive.
Goosebumps.
It was really hard to look.
I could never. Oh my God, I'm like crying.
So for the last 2 years, it's been really bad for her. Like, full living a homeless lifestyle. Not knowing where she's going to shower, not knowing how she's going to pee sometimes, not knowing how she's going to eat her next meal. So hearing all of this, and I'm sitting in this crazy hotel in Hawaii, and I'm like, wow, life is nuts. It literally, like, put her at the lowest point in like, it's just, it's hard to fathom. Like, we literally went like this. Like, the fact that I've had so much success in the last 4 years is mind-numbing. It's insane. And the fact that she lost everything and was homeless was just such a mind to me. It was crazy. Because imagine we reconnect and I'm still almost homeless, or I'm working at the mall still, and I'm like, girl, I can't help you. How are you? But I sat there and I go, as of now, you're not homeless anymore. And I think it took her brain days to even, like, fathom this. And I flew home and I met up with her immediately, and I started to obviously help her become not homeless anymore, but to mentally unravel the layers of living and being homeless, of having so much fear and having so many horrible things happen to her. It's hard to fathom. It's hard to even say out loud. So there's so much in the middle, and right now is not the time, but I don't even know what she's comfortable with me saying, but she's really bad off. It's really bad. So I've been trying to help and fix everything, and not that houses and cars fix things. It's not about that. It's just getting her in a normal living condition. She hadn't slept
Oh
in a
my
real
God,
bed in
no.
over 4 years, and I couldn't
No.
fathom that. Like, how did all this happen? So all of that has been going on since Christmas. So that has been such a huge emotional weight on me. And sometimes I don't snap for a few days, and sometimes I disappear, and I'm just kind of floating, and it's a lot mentally, you know? And on top of so many people relying on me on the business side of things, and my relationship and personal things and feelings, that has been a huge weight. So if I'm ever acting weird sometimes in the last 6 months, that's why. And that has been a big secret of mine that I really wanted to get off my chest. So if you've made it this far into the video, thank you for listening to this. The fact that I've reconnected with my mom is, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's so beautiful and it's so fulfilling emotionally to heal so many internal scars that me and her have both had, and just to be able to hug each other. We're working on each other, and we're working on our relationship, and I can't wait to see what the future brings. Those were a few secrets I really felt like I needed to get off my chest. If you're listening to this, just thank you. I know those 2 words can get repetitive, but just
no, you really
you.
say it like you mean it.
In the future, I'd love to share more, but for now, this was a lot. So I'm gonna turn the camera off, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. I feel good. Thank you for letting me share and for using my platform to talk about this stuff. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you on the next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.
Okay, so I got really emotional because, okay, for me, this is going to be such a long video, but for me, cutting yourself, self-harming, even sexual abuse, all that kind of stuff, I am so desensitized to all that kind of stuff. So I would have seemed a little bit meh when he was talking about that, but when he started talking about the stuff with his mom, and oh my God, because I think it's something to do with, because I have such a close relationship with my mom, but also I am a mom, and the thought of the thought of that happening with my children, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I know this is supposed to be just like a simple reaction video, but wow, that really hit me. Like, imagine, this is from the mum's point of view, that's what I'm crying about. Like, imagine, I can't even speak it. Like, being completely homeless and seeing that your son is like so successful and amazing, and that's awesome, but like, you only get the same view of your child as his fans do, and that's hectic. Like, you don't actually know your child, and that scares the shit out of me. Like the motherly instinct and stuff, like only being able to catch up with your kid by the internet and what like the public see, not ever seeing him in private. And the fact that she's a mum, this is what most mums are like, but she knows that her son is like multimillionaire or whatever, and did not ask him for a cent, and she was living out of a car. Like, that's amazing. Good on you, Jeffrey's mum. Wow. Okay, so wow, I'm gonna go and hug my child so tight. I don't even know how to feel right now. I'm like emotional. But I have not been a Jeffree Star fan for long. Like, seriously, I've been a Shane Dawson fan for ages, and this whole Jeffree Star thing has really gotten me, like, I've been really binge watching like Jeffree Star videos, and even like stuff with people that have had beef with him, and trying to get both sides of the story and all that fun gossipy stuff. But like, just this has been life-changing. I don't know, that seems a little bit drastic to me. But anyway, I just don't have any words right now, so I'm just gonna stop it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, if you want me to react to more like emotional stuff like this, I'm down. Why not? Otherwise, you know, leave me some suggestions of what videos you'd like me to react to down in the comments below. That'd be great. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I don't even know what outro I use anymore. 2 different channels. Whatever. Thank you. I love you. Mwah. See ya.